every way, in the Jordan River, in the Yarmouk River, in many shared aquifers and so on. So we receive the least of our water resources, and it's a tough process to manage all these water resources. Of course, the government is doing what they can do in the moment, not enough. A lot needs to be done and needs to be supported, but also we can see that we also need to come up with some plans to help moving forward. Speak about climate change, it has a strong shadow. In the last 15 years, we have received 20% less rainfall than average, and many dams, many groundwater aquifers are going low in their situation. The way forward, in our opinion, it can be in two dimensions. One, speaking about desalination to produce new water, and also treating what is not treated from our generated wastewater in the moment. Both of them requires energy, requires lots of attention, and we would like to see ourselves somewhere close to Hamburg example, which is a big challenge and so on. But those two sectors requires lots of energy in order to produce lots of energy that needs to produce the required water available for the domestic side. What Jordan is rich in, we are rich in solar radiation. Ma'an area in the south of Jordan, we have more than 350 days of sunshine, very clear skies that enable Jordan to be one of the best locations in the world for solar production. The numbers, the economics that we have here in Jordan about the solar production are actually promising. We have reached in the third purchase power agreement $2.45 per kilowatt, and this is the best on a global scale in terms of solar production. So this is something that we would like to encourage the government of Jordan to become a hub of production of solar energy in the near future. From the different types of solar production, we proved that the photovoltaic PV, the normal PV, are the best, and it's about 98% used on a global scale, and this is why Jordan is moving forward on the PV in large scale. The other side of the story, we speak about water, we need to move into desalination. And desalination is growing a business on a global scale as well, and we have seen that around 18,000 desalination plants on a global scale are functioning. So it's becoming more and more effective source of water source that can be utilized for distribution of water, creation of water. Now, the economics is very important, and I'm bringing here this comparison where desalination shows that we are around 55 cents per cubic meters of water, and I'm showing the three countries here because I would like to show that in Jordan, if we desalinate, we need to desalinate in Aqaba, which is 360 kilometers south of Amman. So the pumping cost, which is in red, is quite a lot, and that's why when you need to compare where to desalinate, where the saline water is available. And in my next slide, which is our proposition here, our EcoPeace, speaks about what can be done in the Middle East. Today, Jordan is buying lots of water from the Israeli side. We're buying it at a certain rate. But if you compare the distance between the Mediterranean and the northern governorates of Irbid and Amman, it's very short location or distance compared to Aqaba. So the conveyance is much shorter and the pumping cost is much lower. Why the pumping cost is much lower? Because today the Israeli water carrier, which is national water carrier, that used to take water from the Sea of Galilee, Tabariya, all the way to the Mediterranean coast, can be reversed. And the infrastructure is there. So it's a win-win situation. We can desalinate on the Mediterranean side, bring it back to the Jordan Valley, and provide much cheaper water than the one from the Aqaba coast. But here we have a proposal because we're also trying to empower Gaza, because the Palestinians, they live in a miserable conditions in terms of power supply. They live in water shortage. There is a big desalination plant on the Gaza shore that's not functioning because of lack of energy. And we're trying to say that we would love to, or would like to, supply Gaza with enough energy to produce water for Gaza need and also for the Palestinians in the West Bank, and can contribute to the regional stability. So we can create what we call, give them an upper hand in that level to contribute to the stability of the Middle East. So here when we speak about water energy nexus, we're speaking about the balance, what is the right balance that we need to do, and the numbers, the economical number, are important factor to compare the data. Our proposition here is not the only one in a global scale. It has been adopted and effective in many areas. In the European Union, of course, after the World War II, there was the coal and steel agreement that took the countries of the European Union back forward to prosperity after World War II. Also areas of conflict, India, Nepal, Turkey and Iraq, there was a number of agreements that helped those countries to share resources. And when we speak about those countries were in dispute. And today we are in dispute. We are not denying the conflict part of our region today. We have some objectives to achieve. We would like to have what we call interdependence, healthy interdependence between the countries. Today Jordan is buying water and the trade is not in Jordan's favor. So in order to make a balanced trade in water and energy, we would love to see that Jordan is contributing to the balance of this trade of water and energy, also for the Palestinians as well. We would like to expand on the institutional cooperation, because what we have seen in the past, there was a number of projects in Palestine, in the West Bank, in Gaza, that was destroyed because it was unilateral development between the donor countries and Gaza or West Bank, and there was no joint collaboration. And if there was a joint collaboration between the different parties, the Israelis would not destroy those projects, the harbor of Gaza as an example, etc. So we would like to see more joint cooperation to prevent the destruction and create more lasting peace in this region. Of course, sharing water resources or energy resources will create better linkages and better conditions. Yeah. So there's also a number of benefits that we expect on ecological terms and also on a geopolitical level. And we expect to create what we call a win-win situation in a number of sites. I know that this is something that might raise lots of questions about the acceptance of this project at first place, but we believe that this project, if to be conducted, it will save the region lots of wasted energy, it will save the region lots of negative impact on the environment, and also much cheaper water resources. Today, we have in our capacities to build a small pilot case. The pilot case it's very small, to prove concept that the transfer of energy is possible between the countries, and also the exchange of the water is already taking place. So if we manage to transfer energy, that will prove that this is a successful case. This is actually funded by the Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA, and we hope that it will show positive concrete results. And the way forward, we believe that we still have lots of issues that we need to deal with. We have lots of bureaucratic systems, not only on our side in Jordan, but all in the region. We need to study the full feasibility of this project, because we need to know what could be the full scale We have a plan of building a 20% renewable solar-based energy fields in Jordan that will consume 1% of Jordan's desert area. 20% of Jordan, Palestine and Israel water energy demand can be expanded. That needs to be a private sector led. So what is the capacities that we have, what is the grid and so on. It's a big question that needs to go into the full feasibility study. And of course we need to get all the political will to be in place. We have good signs from the region already, but still need to full support of this issue. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. We'll receive questions. Please, we would like to have fast questions because we have another presentations and we need to make the time. We'll have 2 questions. Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you so much. My name is Katrine Eignell and I'm representing the Swedish Embassy in Amman in Jordan. As Ecopis has been pointing out through the presentation, the Swedish government is supporting Ecopis and we've been supporting Ecopis since 2009. And as was pointed out, we also provided some seed funding for this WEAM component, for this small pilot. So I'm very happy to answer any questions from a donor perspective on the WEAM components and the logic behind our thinking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Catherine.
Let's start with the people who did not ask first.
My name is Anders Jägersjö. I work for the World Bank. Thank you very much, Abdulrahman. I wonder if you can give us a rough estimate of what a full feasibility would cost.
You can answer that. Yeah.
Okay, the mic, please.
Thank you. My name is Yana Abu Talib. I am Jordanian Director of Ecopis Middle East. Thank you, Anders. Very important question. We already have, like we mentioned, the seed funding for the pilot project. Of course, if we want to upscale, we'll have to raise more money. But for the full feasibility study and trying to fundraise for it, we've estimated that we'll need around $8 million, basically, for the full feasibility.
Thank you, Mr. Abdulrahman, for the interesting presentation. I'm Mohammed Zayan from Oxfam. Actually, I saw that you have said that for the energy sector, that you have selected the PV technology.
Yes.
And in your, let's say, proposal or study, and you said that it is the most or the best for the context of Jordan. Actually, I did not see the reason. How did you came up with this conclusion? Did you make any comparison in terms of advantages and disadvantages with in comparison to other solar energy technologies? In Morocco, we all know that they have built a massive solar energy plant, not PV, thermal, and they are doing very well. Yeah, thank you.
It depends on the condition of the country. In our area, because we have very clear skies, it makes all the sense to go for PV. Yes, we have some other examples, pilot cases of CSPs and forgot the name. Sorry.
I know it.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't prove economical feasibility much compared to the PV in Jordan. We also have a large-scale wind farm in Jordan. It's also the doable thing in Jordan, but we're focusing on the PV side. We're not going all renewable because also we have it's called thermal as well in Jordan. It can be expanded, But we have a comparison that we can share with you in the study, which is a pre-feasibility study, the document that we have. Yes.
Okay, thank you. But actually, I asked this question because I'm not fully aware of the difference between the capital cost for the PV and other thermal solar.
I can share with you.
But for the PV, from my knowledge, that the efficiency is not that high compared to the area it needs, and the area, from my viewpoint, means capital cost as well.
Sure. I
Thank
can
you.
share with you the results later on. Yes.
Please, Pastor.
Thank you, Mr. Abdulrahman, for this nice presentation. My question is, I wonder why you did not touch base to the Red Dead project, that basically it gives a sufficient power due to the hydropower change between water and electricity, especially for the difference in the head between the Red Sea and the Dead Sea. And we are on the Dead Sea, so basically it would be really nice to touch base on such a project, irrespective of political issues, but it's good to consider it in our future plans or whatever.
Actually, the Red Dead Canal project, it's a long discussion. I will make just a very brief feedback about it. In the current phase, we are not pumping water from the Red Sea to the Dead Sea as it's supposed to be in the earlier phase. Today we speak about swap deal, some desalination in Aqaba, and swap with water from Tiberias. The brine can be transferred to the Dead Sea, but that is energy demanding side, so there will not be energy production. That's why the Red Dead Canal is not an energy producing project in the moment, in the current shape that we have. Maybe in the future, if there are some changes in the project setup, maybe it can be considered as a source of energy. But today it's an energy demanding project.
Okay, thank you, Abdulrahman, for this good presentations. And last not least, Mr. Khalid Khayyat, for your presentation, please. Oh, Ziad. No, Ziad.
Okay, not sure if it's good afternoon, good morning, somewhere around that. And I realized that on the last presentation before lunch,